So welcome. My name is Michelle. I am the advisor for the Human Bio program. So I just want to take a little bit of time today just to share with you the highlights of our program. We're really a unique major at Hunter. So I have some information here for you. So first of all, the human bio major is an interdisciplinary major. So human bio is a major exclusive to Hunter. This isn't a program that's offered at other CUNYs. This isn't really a program offered at other colleges. It's really unique to Hunter. And we're an interdisciplinary major. So we're not just a normal bio major where you're taking bio and physics and calculus. You're really taking a mix of everything, and it's really a great experience. So I wanted to go through 4 important parts of our program. So the first important quality of our program is you're going to take classes in multiple fields. So as a human bio major, you're not just taking classes, like I said, in biology. You're welcome to, and we definitely will require for you to take some bio courses and chemistry courses. But besides that, it's really up to you to explore your interests. You can kind of dabble, take some classes here and there, or if there's a topic you really like, we're really going to encourage you to explore that topic and take more classes in that topic. So you will be invited to take classes in public health, nutrition, sociology, anthropology, so many different fields. And what's awesome about being a human bio major and having experience in all these fields is that a human bio degree is going to open so many doors for you career-wise. So you can know for sure what you want to do after graduation as a human bio major. We have a lot of students that are interested in healthcare. We have a lot of students that are interested in public health or nutrition, but we also have a lot of students that aren't really sure what they want to do. And that's awesome because you're going to have experience in so many different fields that you really will have a grasp on what you like and what you enjoy to do by the end of the program. Also, what's awesome about being a human bio major is that you get a lot of hands-on experiences. So not only are you going to take classes with labs, so you're going to have a lot of classes where you're doing labs in person, but also we give a lot of opportunities for you to do internships. So we offer internships for credit. A lot of our students do internships, especially over the summer. And one of our students, Audrey, will tell you a little bit later about the awesome internships that she's done. And you'll see, I think Audrey is a great example, and she's a great person to have here today because she is very different when we talk about human biology. So a lot of our human bio students, like I said, are interested in healthcare, but you don't necessarily have to be interested in healthcare to be a human bio student. Audrey is a pre-law student, and I think that human bio has been really great for her, especially in the fields that she's interested in, and she's done so many internships. So she'll be really great to tell you about internships. And also our students have a lot of research opportunities. So a lot of our students are research assistants in labs, not just at Hunter, but also elsewhere at Cornell, at Memorial Sloan Kettering, which is right across the street from Hunter. So there's a lot of great opportunities and a lot of great networking in the human bio major. Our students also connect their knowledge to the real world. So our students present research at different conferences with the professors that they work with. Our students also study abroad. So our students can take classes in different universities. For example, we had a student take graduate level neuroscience courses in the UK. That was really awesome. We also have a lot of opportunities for students to do research abroad. So for example, the director of our program, Dr. Rothman, she does research in anthropology and she does research in Uganda. So she actually brings a group of students with her to Uganda. You can see the picture on the left of the mountain apes is actually a photo that she took with her students. So that's a really awesome experience as well. And because of all your experience as a human bio student, if you're interested in getting involved on the front lines, especially right now, human bio students are great candidates for jobs. A lot of our students work in urgent cares, a lot of our students work in hospitals, nursing homes, and that really gives you a hands-on experience. And again, sometimes we can count work like that as an internship, so you can even get credit for your time. And lastly, human bio students can customize their curriculum. So you also can choose, again, whatever classes you want to take based on your interests. So our major is divided into 3 different tracks. So we basically have 3 different categories of classes depending on what you're interested in. So our first track, Body, Mind, and Health, is really a mix. So that track includes public health classes, nutrition classes, sociology, physical anthropology. That has a really big mix of courses. Track 2 is more if you're interested in anthropology or archaeology. So we do have students that are interested in being archaeologists and traveling, students interested in fossils, students that are interested in becoming anthropologists, like our director, Dr. Rothman, traveling to other countries, studying animals. And then our track 3, human organizations, is for sociology courses, cultural anthropology, psychology. So you can even be a social worker. You can be a law student as a human bio major. You can be a teacher as a human bio major. You really have a lot of different options. And again, you don't necessarily have to know what you want to do because you have so many options. A lot of majors, sometimes you have to kind of have an idea of what you're going to do with this degree when you leave. Human bio doesn't really do that. We have a lot of different options. You have a lot of opportunities, for example, like internships, to really explore and see what you like. Sometimes you have to try stuff to see if you like it. So the human bio major gives you a lot of space and a lot of room. Our major is also on the smaller side. So although we are one of the largest student wide majors at Hunter, we don't require as many courses as other majors. So you also have a lot more electives and free time to kind of wiggle around in your time at Hunter and take different classes, join clubs, do internships, work, things like that. So you have a lot of customizability in your major, and that's going to give you a lot of time to explore what you're interested in. So I just wanted to kind of provide a little bit of information about our major. I could go into so many more of the specifics of specifically what classes you need and things like that, but of course that's not really for today. So I really wanted to turn it over to Audrey and really give Audrey some time so that way she can tell you more about her experience as a human bio major, maybe internships, and specifically maybe how human bio connects with her career goals. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, sure. Thank you so much. I think what I'll do is talk about the curriculum and then the internship part of it because I think both would be like really helpful from a student's perspective. I think, first of all, in terms of the curriculum, it's very holistic, which I like because you get a strong basis in bio, chem, and anthropology. So that gives you your foundations. But then after that, all the selections you have are very varied. For example, I took classes in regarding human sexuality and pandemics and global health, epidemiology. And one thing that I really, really love all the time is that almost every semester there's an email sent out about, oh, we might be offering this new class next semester, or would you be interested in it? And it's always something that has to do a lot of times with like current events or what's developing in the world. And for example, the pandemics and global health class I took in the fall was obviously directly in response to the pandemic we're going through right now. So I thought it was interesting to take that approach where you're really learning about what's going on in the real world in a classroom setting, which I appreciate a lot. And I think a lot of people find this great for two reasons. One, because it helps you explore yourself and your interests. So you put your feet in the water, try different things, see what classes you like, what you don't like. And also, I think it makes you unique no matter what field you go into. For example, I know a lot of my pre med friends opt for human biology over biology or a chemistry major because you do have that foundational knowledge of biology, but it also makes you have a more holistic approach where you incorporate sociology, psychology, epidemiology, all that kind of stuff, which I think makes you a really well developed and holistic person, but also a unique candidate for internships, med school, law school, public policy school, and things of that sort. And I actually finished a lot of my human biology classes last fall, and that really gave me a strong basis for applying to internships. And personally, as Michelle mentioned, I am a pre-law student, but I'm interested in human. I'm obviously interested in human biology, but I'm interested in public health policy and education policy. So that's why I chose this major. And a lot of my internships have focused on um, biology and public health, but through a legal setting, which is a really interesting intersection I like to talk about. For example, last summer, I took an internship at the Department of Social Services, their Office of Legal Affairs, and that was an internship I used for credit through the Human Biology Department. Because during that time, the Department of Social Services was working on responding to the pandemic. So they were working on projects such as expanding SNAP benefits for people, or making sure mental health services were available, or even talking about in terms of prisoners, what access they have to food during this time. So I think it really gives you a great perspective on how human biology can be applied in really any setting you could think of. And I'm currently an intern at the Children's Defense Fund, which is a policy organization, and I'm working on their health policy and poverty team. So while we're talking about issues such as healthcare or poverty or lead poisoning in children. I'm also working in a legislative field, so I'm drafting memos in support of legislation or testimony for attorneys who are presenting in front of the New York Senate. So it's really interesting how human biology can really play into any field you can really think of.
That's great. We have a couple of important questions that came through. I'd love to throw them at both of you. One is a really good one. I know we addressed this a little bit, but I think it's an important one to go back to. The first one is, what jobs can we get as a human bio major after we graduate? That's an important one. So feel free to, if both of you want to weigh in on that.
Yeah, sure. That's a really good question. So the human bio major does cover a lot of the requirements that you need for some healthcare schools. So for example, if you're interested in nursing and you're either not 100% sure you want to do nursing, or you're not really sure if you're going to get into Hunter's undergrad nursing program, our major pretty much covers all the requirements you would need for nursing. You can pursue, for example, a bachelor's in human bio and then do an accelerated 15-month nursing program afterwards. So that's an option. A lot of our students are pre-PA, so our major does cover some of the requirements that you would need for PA school: physical therapy, dentistry, being a dental hygienist, medical imaging, pre-med, things like that. Of course, it's best to look into whatever your goal program is. It's best to know early, especially if you're pre-med rather than later, just because there's a lot of classes that you need, and not all of them will overlap with the major. Besides that, we do have students like Audrey, for example, who are pre-law. We have some students that are interested in education. We have some students that double major in education and human bio, for example. Some of our students are interested in public health or hospital administration. That's another option. Some students will go on to social work, especially Hunter's social work program. That's an awesome program. So there's a lot of different options. We also have students that aren't really interested in going to grad school, which is totally fine. And those students mostly will work in research. So those students will work in hospitals, especially hospital labs, private labs, doing bio research or chemistry research, which is so important. And then we have other groups of students that are actually getting their PhDs. So we have a student that graduated this fall who just got into NYU's anthropology program. So she's going to be traveling all over, especially in Africa, studying primates. So we really have a big mix. And it's because there's so many different classes in the major. You can really prepare for any type of career you're interested in. And also you don't have to know immediately. And Hunter also has really great career development services, especially career counselors that you can always talk with. And as a human bio major, since you have a lot of experience, you can be kind of flexible in your goals. You know, it's not like you have a degree and then you're like, what do I do with this because it's not applicable. With human bio, you can have a lot of different careers that are applicable. And since the major doesn't have too many required courses, a lot of our students actually have minors or other majors. So we have students that double major in a similar topic. We have students that will major in a language, for example. We also have students that major in economics, which is an awesome combination. We have students that minor in psychology. So you have a lot of time to explore your interests or also explore the combination, like Audrey's doing, between human bio and other topics as well.
Great, excellent. So this is another important one that I think is great for students to understand. What is the difference between human bio and just bio?
Okay, that's a good question. So Hunter has several different science majors. If we're talking about biology, there's two main biology majors. One is us, human bio, and there's another major called biological sciences. The biological sciences major, the one that's not us, is a more traditional bio major. So their bio major is going to cover bio classes, calculus, physics, chemistry. That's about it. If you're really interested in the sciences and you just want to take courses in lab sciences, then that's definitely for you. It's really if you're interested in pre-med, it's really if you're interested in studying biology, like getting your PhD in bio, being a professor, doing research, things like that. Human bio is the interdisciplinary major. So we will require biology, but you'll be taking maybe 3 or so bio classes as opposed to like 7 bio classes. You'll be taking a couple bios, you'll be taking statistics, but you'll also be taking psychology, public health, nutrition, things like that. So it's definitely more mixed than biological sciences.
Great, excellent. This next one is directly for Audrey. Audrey, can you, what are some of your favorite things about the Human Bio program from a student perspective?
I think some of my favorite things is how responsive they are to students and also how communicative they are. I know for like 2 semesters, I was just a bio major, and I felt like there weren't really many opportunities for me to personally grow in terms of my interest in the major, since it was so strict in terms of science and they didn't really offer too many holistic classes. But as a human biology student, you constantly get emails about different opportunities, whether they're just like talking about your career, talking with an advisor, new class offerings, as I mentioned before, how their class offerings really are responsive to like real world events and like super niche topics you wouldn't necessarily think of off the top of your head. So I feel like I think my favorite thing about it would be how communicative it is and how they're constantly trying to create new experiences for students that would prepare them for like the world they're living in a really unique way. And something I always find is that in almost every interview I'm in, whether it's for an internship or even like a volunteering position, they always ask me, oh, what is human biology? Because on my resume, I say, oh, I'm a human biology student. So that's always a great topic of conversation. And once I explain the major a little bit, they're like already a little hooked, they're intrigued. So I think that's like a really great conversation starter and adds a nice dimension as well.
For sure. Anything that could get your resume talked about or a cover letter or anything like that is always a good thing, for sure. So this next question is, I think, it's a basic one, but good for everyone to know. Do you have to apply to be a human bio major? Some of our students, just as a reminder, obviously these are all admitted students in the room here. They've all indicated interest at some point in time in human biology. Once they get to Hunter, what is that process like?
Yeah, sure. So Hunter does have some majors that you have to apply for. You have to take specific classes or have a GPA. With human bio, we don't really believe in that, especially since we're often offering classes in things like public health. We really think that our program should be accessible to everyone. So you can declare your human bio major as early as you want. You don't have to have taken any prior classes. You don't need to have any specific GPA. It's totally open to everyone. Again, you don't have to declare your major formally until the end of sophomore year. So sometimes we'll have some really eager freshmen, and that's totally fine. You can definitely declare, but also we want to give you some space so you can explore and see what you like. But definitely you can declare your major as early as you want, and there's no requirements. There's no formal application. You just fill up the form, bring it to me, I sign it, and you're good to go.
Great, fantastic. A common question that a lot of students have, and we talked a little bit about this, but I think it's worth bringing up again. Can you go to medical school from the human bio track? And how does that work? Obviously, we have the pre-med and pre-health track here at Hunter as well to help that process. If you could talk a little bit about some of the students that have gone that path.
Yeah, sure. Okay. So it is common for students to major in some kind of science to be pre-med. Mostly the reason why is financial aid, because financial aid will cover the classes mostly for your major. And so if you're a dance major and you're pre-med, you can totally do that, but that may pose some issues with financial aid. So typically students do major in something in the sciences if they're pre-med. A lot of students then wind up having to decide between biological sciences and human bio. With human bio, although not all of our classes will be covered for pre-med, some of those classes will be electives. You just have to meet with an advisor and plan everything out. It's totally fine. But like Audrey's saying, being a human bio major and being pre-med is a leg up in that you're doing something different. Everyone who's applying to med school is mostly going to be a biology major. If you're doing something slightly different, you're taking classes not just in the sciences, but you're taking classes to see who are your patients, what issues are they facing. For example, one class that our students take is social structure and health, and the class specifically talks about the inequities in our healthcare system. So how do people of different races and incomes, how do they experience the healthcare system, and what can you do to better that when you become a doctor? So you talk about some really important issues. So our students not only become healthcare practitioners, but also advocates for their patients. But you definitely can be pre-med as a human bio major. Hunter has a pre-health advising office. It's never too early to check them out. Once you become a freshman at Hunter, they do have seminars for freshmen and their parents as well. The pre-health advising office does help you every step along the way when it comes to doing your volunteer work, doing all of your internships, getting your recommendation letters, things like that. So you have your pre-health advisor, and then you have me as your major advisor, and then you have your general hunter advisor who's helping with all the other requirements. But it's definitely doable to be pre-med and human bio. For example, we had one student that graduated this fall. He was actually a student veteran. He actually was a transfer student and chose not to work with the pre-health advising office anyway, just because he was working and doing other things as well. He got into 7 medical schools. So it's definitely doable to be a human bio major and be pre-med.
And that's, I have a kind of a follow-up question to that. And so someone's asking, and I think this is an important clarifying question. Is the only difference the holistic curriculum between human bio and biology? If someone is super hyper focused on bio, the coursework that goes with it, and pre-med, is that the better track for them? How would you advise a student in that particular circumstance?
Yeah, so it depends mostly on someone's financial situation, depends on their timeline, and it depends on when did you realize that this is your calling. If you realize early, so freshman, sophomore year, it's really flexible. You can declare whichever major you're interested in, either human bio, biological sciences, chemistry, something totally different, just because that way you have the time to get all your pre-med requirements done. Pre-med requires a lot of different classes, multiple levels of bio, multiple levels of chem, some physics, some calculus. Our major doesn't cover everything, so you do have to do some planning on your own or some planning with your pre-health advisor if you wind up being a pre-health student. So it is doable if it's later on. So if you're junior or a senior and now you realize that you want to be a doctor and you haven't really taken these classes yet, biological sciences will cover more of those classes, but it is a much bigger major. A lot of what our students do who are juniors or seniors and decide that they want to get into pre-med, they will be a human bio student because our major is shorter and smaller, so you can get those classes done quickly. They will graduate and then they'll move on to a post-bac program. So there are some programs that you can apply to and they'll help you apply to medical school. They'll help you get those pre-med requirements done. You don't necessarily have to get everything done right now if that timing isn't working out for you.
Fantastic. Excellent. This next question is for Audrey directly, and it departs a little bit from human bio, but I think it's important information. Audrey, if you could tell a little bit about what made you come to Hunter and why you picked Hunter and how you became a student here.
Yeah, sure. I think I'm also a student in the Macaulay Honors College at Hunter, and that provided a lot of tuition assistance for me, which is personally a huge factor in the college process for me. But I think the specific reason why I picked Hunter is the advising and the location. I think those were really big factors for me because whether it's in my major or my track, the pre-law track, or even with prestigious scholarships, I have had the best advising experience I could ever ask for. I know a lot of my friends at other schools regularly ask me if I found any opportunities through my school to give to them. I'm that kind of go-to person for them because they know that so many of the departments are super communicative and they're always sharing professional development experiences, internships, volunteering experiences, career development experiences. So I think Hunter does a really great job at preparing students for their next step, whether it's a job, post-grad school, or anything else. I think that's one of the best factors to talk about. And I also think the location of Hunter is amazing because and absolutely no matter what field you're in, it is a perfect location to engage in internships or volunteering opportunities. I know for pre-meds in particular, it's really like a top-notch spot. You have some of the best hospitals literally in the world, like a 10-minute walk away. So I know so many of my friends who volunteer there. I know personally I have internships that even if they're in Brooklyn, they're a train ride away. So I think that's a really great point to make. And even applying to Hunter, when you look at the majors, they have so many different diverse offerings. And I came in as a pre-med student, but I knew I was like, I lean more towards writing and policy and things like that. That's what I'm more naturally inclined to. So at Hunter, I think having that time to declare my major until I'm a sophomore and also having resources like the public policy house. I think that really lets you like test the water. So I think they give you time to acclimate yourself and make a decision as opposed to really pressuring you as soon as you walk in the door, which I really value too.
Great, excellent, thank you. We addressed the curriculum a couple of times, but this one is worth going back to just to reiterate a little bit to make sure everyone understands. Does the human bio major have less required courses than the traditional biological sciences, or is it about the same, or is it just different?
That's a really good question. So human bio major is significantly smaller. So our major requires 36 credits. For those of you who haven't had college credits, that doesn't really mean anything, but you can get done with the major very quickly. It's only 36 credits. That's really small for a major. For something like biological sciences, it's much bigger. I think their major is about 50 something credits. So our major really only requires about 11 courses, whereas other majors require many more than that. So it's easier to get human bio done, which does leave room if you need some of those pre-PA classes, pre-physical therapy, anything like that. It gives you a little bit more wiggle room and time to get those done. Or, if you're interested in doing a minor or another major, it's a little bit more doable than if you did something like chemistry or biological sciences that it's just a heftier major.
Great, and a very quick hit question. Can you do human bio as a minor, or is it just a major?
It's just a major.
Okay, excellent. Have human bio students ever gone to the like a PA path for students, so physician's assistant? Have students ever gone into that direction at all? And if so, if you're aware of what types of programs they potentially have gone to?
Yeah, so being pre-PA is actually really common in the human bio major. I would say maybe about half of our students are pre-PA students, just because the human bio major does cover about maybe 3/4 of what you need for PA school. And then there's some additional chemistry and bio that you would take as electives. So it's definitely really common. A lot of our students are interested in schools like NYU, but they have gone all over. Most students do stay in New York though. But I know also a lot of our students, what they'll do is after they graduate from Hunter, just because PA school has a lot of requirements, being pre-PA is kind of like being pre-med. It's kind of a lot. So a lot of our students will take a gap year after they graduate from Hunter, just so they can really get those volunteer hours in and make their application stand out. Also, just as a note, if you're interested in being pre-PA, the pre-health office still will provide some advising to you, not as much as being pre-med, but they will help you with your recommendation letters and things like that. So it's definitely great to still check out the pre-health advising office if you're pre-PA.
Fantastic. We have a couple of transfer students in the room as well, admitted transfer students that are going to join Hunter at different stages in their academic career. So potentially sophomore year or junior year, depending on how their credits come in. How does that impact joining the human bio program?
Being a human bio major works very well for transfer students. A lot of our majors are transfer students. A lot of your courses will, hopefully, if you've taken classes in the sciences, will transfer over pretty well to our major, as opposed to some other majors. The only requirement we really have for transfer students is that half of your courses have to be taken at Hunter. So that's really only 18 credits. So a lot of our transfer students can get done. If graduation is really important to you, graduating as soon as possible, it is very doable to graduate in a year and a half from being at Hunter, just because if your classes transfer over, you can get a lot of the major done pretty quickly.
Great, excellent. And we have someone asking again about nursing. And from what I understand, obviously Hunter also has a nursing program. So if you're interested and you're super focused, that probably would be the recommendation, at least from my perspective. However, it is always possible to do an accelerated nursing program after you finish the human bio. Is that correct, Michelle? Is there anything you'd like to add to that?
Yeah, sure. So again, like I was saying before, Hunter does have 2 nursing programs. So Hunter has what's called the generic nursing program. That's the nursing program that you usually spend about a year at Hunter, take all the prereqs for the program, take the nursing exam, and you get in. It is very competitive. It's an awesome program. If for some reason you're unable to get in, or you decide, that's a lot, I maybe want to wait and experiment to see that I definitely want to be a nurse for sure. Then a lot of students wind up being human bio majors. Usually most other departments will recommend those students to us anyway to be human bio majors because our major pretty much overlaps with almost everything you need for nursing school. And then from there, a lot of our students will go on and apply for accelerated nursing programs. Some of the programs that our pre-nursing students have gone to are NYU, SUNY Downstate, and Mount Sinai. Those are the three most popular.
Fantastic, excellent. All right, we pretty much got to all the questions. We had a really enthusiastic admitted student population today, so thank you all for those that you're asking questions. They're fantastic. Michelle or Audrey, any parting words while we wrap things up for our admitted student population as they're finalizing their college search and deciding where to attend?
Yeah, sure. So I wanted to go off of what Audrey had said previously about the amount of support. So Human Bio is a really unique program in that we really are student focused. So because we have so many students, we have over 1,800 human bio majors at Hunter. We're one of the largest majors at Hunter. We have myself, I'm a full-time advisor. Most majors don't have that. Most majors don't have an advisor who will hop on Zoom with you almost immediately, will answer your emails the same day. It's something, especially if you're coming straight from high school, that you're used to just popping into your guidance counselor's office. That's not really a thing that happens in college for most majors. But because we're such a large major, we have so much faculty support. Also, what's really awesome about Human Bio is remember that since we're an interdisciplinary program, all our professors come from really different fields, which means all our professors know really cool people. So all of our professors come from all over. So for example, again, our director, Dr. Rothman, works in Uganda. She has so many connections in anthropology if you're ever interested in doing that or learning more about that field. One of our capstone professors, Dr. Palermo, she's amazing. She's so nice. And she's an epidemiologist. She is the best person to talk with about the pandemic right now. So if there's anything you ever wanted to learn more about, if there's any field that you're interested in pursuing, if you had questions about jobs in a specific field, the human bio faculty is a really great group of people to talk with because we come from all over. We're not just all specializing in the same subject. We're all really diverse. So that's a really cool idea to have all these different people to turn to. Yeah, so I just wanted to kind of emphasize that, like Audrey was saying, you do get a lot of support. We're always sending emails. We're always here to help. We're always really welcoming. We have weekly advising sessions. Students can just pop in. We try to make everything really accessible to everyone. And we try to make it really clear that we're always here to help. And I think that that's something that is actually pretty rare in college. A lot of times you're expected to really just be independent, but we always try to be there for our students.
Fantastic. Excellent, Michelle. And Audrey, anything that you'd like to share with our admitted students? Any parting thoughts or words or advice?
I think just to echo what Michelle said and what I mentioned before, I think it's completely underrated how important advising is. I found that advising has been the most important part of my college experience, like throughout Hunter, and I'm currently a junior, so I've been here for a little while. I think a lot of people think, especially in a school like located in the city with a lot of students, you really need to find that place where you could ground yourself and make sure you're receiving guidance or a place you could go to with any kind of question. So I think that's a really important thing to consider. And those are just my words of wisdom.
Fantastic. Well, thank you both. Thank you so much for speaking today and telling us all that we should know about the Human Bio program and life as a student at Hunter in this program. So we really appreciate you being here. Also, a huge thank you to all of our admitted students who came today. You guys were super engaged and asked a lot of great questions. We definitely hope that you liked what you heard and become a part of the Hunter family in the fall semester. I just wanted to let you know that we have a lot of upcoming Hawk Talks on topics such as various academic subjects, student life. We have one on some of the anti-racism initiatives that are happening on campus and those conversations that are taking place. We encourage you to attend as many of these as possible because it's your way of getting to know us. Obviously, we are unable to have our big admitted student events on campus like we normally do. So these little 45-minute sessions are a great way for you to really understand what life is like as a student at Hunter. So definitely sign up for as many as possible. Lastly, if you decided Hunter is the place for you and you love what you heard today, and you're ready to become a Hawk, make sure that you log into your CUNY First account and you could commit to Hunter and submit your deposit there. You should do so by May 1st. That is the national deadline to reserve your spot in the fall 2021 class. So we look forward to seeing everyone soon, hopefully in person shortly enough. And we hope everyone has a great afternoon. Take care, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.